Moment with the fluid dynamics. I've been working on updating the kinematic body. The hydrodynamics was the things we were working on last. And so I made some changes here. This was my previous attempt. And it shouldn't be much different. I actually haven't tested this one out yet, but I did make some changes to the restitution and the friction. And I wanted to figure out my damping here, um, which I might end up changing that also. But I'm going to show you what this does right now. So anybody that logs in right now can log in just using my test my test login, and you'll see things that I've done on here. It'll pop up for you too because this saves for everybody. But you can also create your own login if you like. It'll save your stuff. So for this case, what we'll do is we'll remove this one and we'll add a capsule in there. And the position doesn't matter because it bases off of the center of mass, which is right here. So the center of mass is where the rotation origin occurs, not the center of the body itself. So even though these are offset from the body, it disregards the body and uses it only as a just a parent node that holds everything into it. All of the physics are calculated based on all of these faces. So if there are no faces anywhere else, then that's what it does. So I'm going to go ahead and save this, and we'll just show you this one first. It will spawn on land because I added a new terrain on there that has hills and stuff. And this is supposed to help me figure out these rotational damping factors that I'm working on. And the bounciness, you'll see here that when it hits at certain angles, at certain velocities, it'll bounce more or it'll bounce less, depending on how it hits. So those are the numbers that I'm working on right now. They're basically like tweak variables. And this one is set right now. It's to bounce pretty much indefinitely. But doing this just to check the rotation directions versus the way that it hits the slopes and angles on the terrain itself. So that was a very extreme bounce there. To be more realistic, once I figure out if this is bouncing correctly, which I haven't paid attention to yet, but if I find out that this has issues, I might need to change some sign, positive, negative signs on some of the calculations. It looks like I might have to do that already. Um, yeah, but that wasn't too bad there. So once I figure that out, then I will be able to get more realistic bouncing back out of this as the rigid body itself. So this isn't supposed to settle. It's supposed to keep bouncing for now, just for test purposes. And yeah, you'll see. So when one hits, the other one will take that energy and it'll bounce it back just like it's supposed to. And they are shaped different, but they have the same density and similar volumes. Not exact, obviously, because they're different shapes, but so they'll have different masses, which is why sometimes they spin faster and slower depending on how they hit. That was right there was very inaccurate. So I have to test that one out. But let's go back to the editing and just see. I'm interested to see what um, maybe just a sphere would do. So we'll add one of those. And again, the placement of it doesn't really matter. I'll place it at the center to show you that too if you want, but this will it'll disregard all of that. So that was an initial very quick spin on that drop there. It is rolling really good. I don't know if the slowing down is too much or not, but the sphere looks good. The sphere looks like it's working like it should. It should settle on this point here because that's the furthest point down right now, or at least close to it. It's not really going to settle, but there's nothing to get this to um, inadvertently change the um, angular velocity as rapid as if I had two objects on there. So this one's only going to act on itself right now because so the center of mass is inside the sphere, and we can't see that doing it like this. But so yeah, that's not really going to go anywhere else on its own. But if I were to add another one, we'll just add another sphere. This will bounce a lot. We'll just check this real quick. And I'm doing on land right now because I'm rechecking my rigid body stuff because this is not a rigid body. I'm just implementing collision like rigid body behavior. Yeah, this one bounces like crazy. So yeah, it has a lot of energy built up behind it when it hits. You'll see bam bam, and then it'll spin. And depending on the slope and how it hits, which faces hit, and stuff like this is probably better than using the cube. I actually seen the other one go through the terrain on that one, so that might have missed a collision. Yep, there it goes. So that's probably my slopes, my slope or slide counts, which I might need to increase. So I could increase that to 12, and that might actually help with this happening. And so, yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I know it seems like a step backwards, but during initially when I made this, I had aerodynamics and stuff and everything built into it, but I noticed a lot of issues and I tried fixing them. And in doing that, it just kept setting me backwards because every time I would fix one thing, it would break something else. So I knew that something fundamentally was off with it. And so I'm going back to the fundamentals on this right now just to I redid actually a lot of the code, went back to the math behind it, and it blew my mind. So I'm still trying to wrap my head around a lot of it. But this right here is basically just different forces at the moment. This is the easy part to understand. The green here is going to be the center of buoyancy, so that's not going to move away from anything because it's not in the water. I did remove the buoyancy stuff that you've seen in other stuff, other videos and updates. It's only commented to use a different script right now. I actually created a different one here called Water Dynamics, and I made it a reference. So that way I can call on this directly without having to make it like an auto load or have it be part of the KinematicBody script because I'm already getting this is already getting to be a pretty big script as it is. So I separated that, and right now I'm just not calling on it. So that's why the water is not working at the moment. But it's there. It still works. It's the last updates that you've seen on the buoyancy. Those are the same, and those are going to be possibly improved if this here works out well enough with fixing the fundamentals of the collision forces because it would affect them also in the water based on the difference of the density. The water is a lot more dense, so it's going to be a lot more sensitive in the water than it is in the air. So if it hits something in the water, I'm going to have to test that also. But yeah, this right here, so hit, almost hit. It's not too bad. That's actually pretty realistic right now. See how it slowed it down on that second hit. That's the stuff that I'm looking for. The speeding up like that is unnatural. What I'm looking for is for it to slow down like that and that one was unnatural. So there's some force that's possibly being added between the collisions of them because the energy can't be created. So it's basically just transferred from one to the other, and there's a loss of energy, and then it's regained on the linear velocity of the object when it falls back down. So I'm looking for stuff like this here, the behavior right here. That's the behavior I'm looking for right there, except for that increase. So I know something is being added or either not being subtracted from a previous force. So that's what I'm going to look at next. But yeah, this is good testing. Just an update of where I'm at with this. And once I get this working so that it dissipates energy over time, then it should naturally allow me to not have to lower the restitution values or the friction on the objects. I should have to only tweak those just a little bit and not as much as I would now to get it to be more realistic, because that that there should be no extra added energy in that. So yeah, so I'm going to end this, but I wanted to show you what I'm doing right now. And hopefully when I get that done, I can post up another major update on this. And then, there's going to be a lot of things coming to this, be able to make right now. So it's different shapes that we can make. We can position them, scale them, rotate them. So all the major transforms, they are connected to a single model, a single body right now, but eventually they can be nested. I'll make motors out of some. I'll make spring stuff, just different type of physics things that you can add to it. So you'll eventually be able to create anything and work on any terrain in the air, in the sea, and on the land. By the time this gets to a point where you can start creating a lot more than just putting shapes around and stuff. So that's just what the future is going to look like for this. But yeah, I'll end it here, and I'll do another update soon.